Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2025 Australian of the Year Awards for the Northern Territory. Good evening and thank you all so much for joining us. A lovely NT prints I've seen from so many people. It's beautiful to see you all in your glad rags. I'm Rick Hind from ABC Radio Darwin. I host the morning show and it's my great pleasure to be your host for this evening here at the Darwin Convention Centre. Throughout this week, each state and territory is recognising and celebrating extraordinary achievement through the Australian of the Year Awards, just as we are tonight. You will hear stories of courage, compassion, resilience and hope. They are the stories of everyday Australians who are passionate about making a difference. I've spoken to many of tonight's nominees on the radio. It's great to share this night with you in person. Whether you're here with us in the room or watching online at australianoftheyear.org.au, welcome. You're in for a great celebration of some incredible people. Please show your support on social media using the hashtag #OzOfTheYear. Now, Liana is our Auslan interpreter tonight. I'll try to slow down for her, so give me a signal if she's under the pump. I talk too fast. The Australian of the Year Awards shine a spotlight on those special people whose contributions lead us, inspire us, and make our country a far better place. Welcome to all the nominees and your families. I can't wait to hear your stories and acknowledge your achievements. I'd like to welcome His Honour, the Administrator of the Northern Territory, Professor the Honourable Hugh Heggie, AO, PSM, Deputy Chief Minister Gerard Maley, Manuel Brown, MLA, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Selina Yubo, Mr John Foreman, OAM, Chair of the National Australia Day Council, Kirsten Langton from the Department of the Prime Minister and Cabinet, and our other distinguished guests. I now invite the Youth Mill Performing Arts Company to welcome us to country.
Hello, my name is Liam Stansfield and I'm a proud Larrakia person.
Hi, my name is Shauna Boyong and I'm a proud Kedja woman.
And my name is Edwin Fijo. I'm also a proud Larrakia person. Our people, the Larrakia people, are the traditional custodians of the Darwin region and surrounding areas. We are also comprised of saltwater people. I would like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners and custodian holders of the lands and waterways around what now has been named Australia. And of course, pay our utmost respect to our ancestors.
We as Indigenous people are born of the spirit of this country. It is where we are conceived from. It is our home. It is where we belong.
Our relationship with the land is at the center of our lives.
Our country is our mother. In a sense, our country is us. So please, on behalf of our ancestors, welcome to Larrakia country. to all those in need. Peace and serenity we can't compare. Love here is wonderful and harmony. Let us welcome all those from far and wide. This land united, come together far and wide. Country of color, stand together, stand with pride. First Nations people, stories told in the stars. Home to all people, this land called Australia. Hey, yeah. Oh. Under the sea and over the mountains, it's not what you see, it's how you see it. For all that's unlearned, we need to relearn it. Our futures are bound to succeed. Let us unite and join our knowledge within. This land united, come together far and wide. A country of color, stand together, stand with pride. First Nations people, stories told in the stars. Home to all people, this land called Australia. 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 Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are proud participants of the Youth Mill Performing Arts.
What beautiful voices, what beautiful faces in that video of Australia. Thank you to the Youth Mill Performing Arts Company for their beautiful welcome to country. Please join us now as Prayer Corby performs our national anthem. Prayer is a local singer-songwriter. She's been performing in the Territory for many years. Sometimes Prayer is a soloist, sometimes in duet with her dad. You might have seen them both on Australian Idol. No matter where you catch her, Prayer always captivates and entertains. I can't wait.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, our beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stag advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant southern cross we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned those who've come across the seas. We've boundless plains to share. With courage let us all combine, advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, Prayer, for that lovely performance. Now, this year we received thousands of nominations from the public nominating someone who inspires them. After a very difficult shortlisting process, the 16 incredible nominees here tonight were selected by a diverse panel of representatives from across our territory. Our nominees range from volunteers to professionals to local community members to fearless advocates. They each have their own pathways and motivations. All I can say is get ready to be inspired by their stories. One recipient will be announced in each of the 4 categories: Australia's Local Hero, Young Australian of the Year, Senior Australian of the Year, and the Australian of the Year. Those 4 recipients will then join the other state and territory recipients at the National Awards on the eve of Australia Day, with the Prime Minister revealing the national recipients live on the ABC. Our nominees are already legends in Australia's eyes, and we thank them for their contribution. Let's give them a huge round of applause. I'd like to invite Dr. Richard Fijo, the Chair of the Australia Day Council Northern Territory, to say a few words.
Welcome to the 2025 Northern Territory Australian of the Year Awards. Tonight, we gather to honour 16 extraordinary Territorians who embody the spirit of our community through their selfless contributions. From northeast Arnhem Land to Central Australia, these inspiring individuals showcase remarkable courage, creativity and compassion, making the Northern Territory a better place to live. As we celebrate their achievements, we also celebrate the power of community, courage and selflessness. Each nominee has touched the lives and created change, providing that one person can indeed make a difference. Tonight, we would also like to recognise the people who nominated these individuals. Thank you for nominating.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll now invite the Honourable Gerard Maley, Deputy Chief Minister of the Northern Territory, to share some words with us. Please give him a warm welcome.
Good evening and thank you and welcome everyone. I don't think my contribution is going to be as beautiful as Youth Mills was, so look, I want to shout out to that. It was a really welcome to country, which I really enjoyed, so thank you if you're listening. I'd like to acknowledge His Honour Professor the Honourable Hugh Heggie, AO, PSM Administrator of the Northern Territory, Miss Ruth Jones, Minister Carl and fellow members of the Legislative Assembly, Mr Richard Fijo, thank you for those kind words. It's a pleasure and an honour to join you here today as we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of those who have made significant contributions to our local community, to the Northern Territory. From Central Australia to East Arnhem Land to the top end, this evening is about honouring the incredible impact these people have had right across the Northern Territory. The Australian of the Year Awards recognise those who inspire us through their achievement and the important role they play in shaping our society. The awards tonight we'll be presenting tonight are the 2025 Local Hero of the Northern Territory, the 2025 Young Australian of the Northern Territory, the 2025 Senior Australian, and of course the Australian of the Year. While time does not permit me to run through and mention these people individually, I am sure and I know that the nominees are all an inspiring group. Their dedication spans health, arts, community service and environment, reflecting the diversity and resilience of our community. These remarkable individuals represent the best of the Northern Territory, and I extend my sincere congratulations to all those nominees. Your stories reflect the strengths of the Northern Territory and our community-mindedness as we all join together here in the Northern Territory. Just being nominated for these awards is an impressive achievement. Your recognition tonight is a reflection on the incredible difference you have made as an individual to our Northern Territory. As finalists, you have been acknowledged by your communities as outstanding role models, and I hope you take immense pride in achieving that alone. Please join me in giving all the nominees a well-deserved round of applause. I'd like to say a special thank you to the Australia Council of the Northern Territory for organising this magnificent event. A thanks to all the sponsors, the volunteers and the staff who have worked tirelessly to make this event tonight such a success. And I wish all the nominees for the very best for tonight and enjoy the celebrations ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Minister. Now, our first 2025 Australian of the Year award for the Northern Territory is the category of Local Hero, which recognises Australians making a significant contribution to their local community. Let's learn some more about this category, which is supported by the Department of Home Affairs.
Our local heroes are everyday Australians doing amazing things in their local communities. They represent what's great about communities. They keep their communities strong and they are the fabric of our society.
They'll tell you when we open our doors to our neighbours, we open our hearts and we give ourselves the chance to rejoice with others, to learn from them.
Rural people are worth fighting for because they get up and they show up in fire and flood and droughts and plagues and pandemics, and they put food on the nation's table. So the least we can do as a nation is make sure that they're getting support when they look for it.
Hey, it's Tony Burke, the Minister for Home Affairs. I just want to tell you why it's so important that we sponsor the Local Heroes Award. This award, people don't compete for it. People just do what they do. And I love when we recognise people who never sought recognition. There are people who are local heroes because they just very humbly go out and do jobs every day that show leadership through their work. There are people who are local heroes because they stand up for people who, when no one else is standing up for them. There are people who are local heroes because in a moment of crisis they just step up without thinking about themselves and just helping others. But most importantly, everybody being awarded today did it because of their love of their community, love of their country, love of the people you are helping. And that is worthy of recognition.
The award not only acknowledges work done so far, but gives encouragement to continue, and that's important.
It's not easy to just sit around and talk about the problems. I urge everyone, be kind and respectful. You too can be part of the change of the solution.
Building a world-class natural history museum is a multi-million-dollar investment. But my question to everyone here is, what is our continent worth? What is the education of our children worth? Australia's future is inextricably linked to its past, and our children are its future custodians. The more they understand it, the better they will care for it. To me, nothing is more important.
Some amazing people there. We also have our 2024 Local Hero recipient, Widiana Marika, here with us tonight. Widiana, if you could join us on stage. Widiana, can you tell us how you felt when you were announced as the Northern Territory Local Hero last year?
Well, it was a privilege, a standing award from my fathers of the founders, real heroes, my fathers, who fought, they were pioneers, and as his brothers handed over to my father, when he left, the day he left, 1993, he was named as a father of land right, that he fought, as Roy Marika fought for Mataman, Millerpum, Mawalan, and the other brothers that stood against the time. So it reflects me, and I was very, very proud, and again put me on the spotlight again as being a super rock and roll band from Yoto Yindi, and then became a book, written a book, Writing in the Sand, book hero, and then the film, The High Ground. Made me big.
Incredible year for you. Thank you, Widiana. Let's give him a big round of applause. I'd now like to invite the Administrator of the Northern Territory, His Honour, Professor the Honourable Hugh Heggie, AO, PSM, to the stage, please. Let's learn about our nominees for the 2025 Northern Territory Local Hero Award.
As president of the Tea for Thomas charity, Yvette Clark's mission is to educate everyday Australians about the dangers of sepsis. Since 2017, she's been leading a group of women from rural areas to raise funds and awareness, particularly in Indigenous communities where statistics are high. She educates healthcare workers on early recognition and works with the community to get the word out. Wiradjuri man Mandaka Marika has stood strong against changing seasons, threats to land and personal loss. Proudly carrying the knowledge of his people, he led the management of Indigenous protected areas, delivering sustainable land management outcomes for traditional owners in the region. Mandaka also initiated the Larpen Foot Patrol to combat the rise in substance abuse by young people in his community. For more than 30 years, Mignon McHenry has rescued and cared for the Northern Territory's unique wildlife. As head of Wildcare Incorporated, she leads a team of volunteers who rescue wildlife from across the Northern Territory. Mignon also fundraises, recruits and trains volunteers for rescues. The Wildlife Warrior enriches the lives of volunteers every day, as well as saving hundreds of Australia's precious creatures. Gaylene Gurawiri is a leader in one of the most vulnerable places in Australia, Gallywinco, East Arnhem Land. Her efforts were crucial in securing more than $1 million from the Northern Territory Government to establish the Gallywinco Women's Space. In doing so, she's provided a safe haven for women facing domestic violence and brought attention to the struggles remote communities face.
Your Honour, I now invite you to present each nominee with their certificate. First, Yvette Clark. Mandaka Marika. Mignon McKendry. Unfortunately, Gayleen Yenu Gurawiwi couldn't be here tonight, so let's give all of our nominees a big round of applause. And Your Honour, if you could tell us who is the 2025 Northern Territory Local Hero?
If a drum roll here. So the 2025 Local Hero is Mignon McKendry.
Mignon, if you could just join us at the lectern, please. Just a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Really?
Congratulations, Mignon. How does it feel knowing someone nominated you for this award?
Pretty scary, because there's so many people out there that deserve it, and I don't feel that I was one of them.
Oh. What inspired you to do this work, rescuing animals in your local community?
I've always cared for animals and wildlife in particular. I've started wild care years and years ago, about 1998. Well, 1996 actually it was founded, but 1998 we actually really grouped together and started sharing information. My first little bird was a fig bird. I was founded outside of work, and from then on it's grown to about 140 animals in my care.
Wow. And Mignon, where would you like to see the biggest change? What can people do to help with wild animals in danger, that need our help?
I'd like to see a lot of the burning stopped in the Northern Territory, because that devastates so many animals and so many habitats. It's horrific up here. But yeah, if you find an animal, please give us a call. We'd always like to save a little creature and put him back where he belongs.
2025 Northern Territory Local Hero, Mignon McKendry. Thank you. Congratulations once again. Thank you, Your Honour. Now, on to the Young Australian of the Year category, supported by the Australian Government Office for Youth. This award was introduced in 1979 and recognises inspiring young Australians aged between 16 and 30 years of age who have already accomplished great things. Let's hear more about our young category from some past recipients.
When you look at the Young Australians of the Year, we're all reminded that our future is in really good hands.
I've been given the opportunity in such a beautiful country to be myself, and for me the most important thing is to help the next generation and also inspire them to be themselves and follow their dreams.
We have the power to shape the future and make Australia a place where we're all proud, where we all belong, and where we stand united.
I'm beyond proud to congratulate you as our exceptional state and territory finalists for the 2025 Young Australians of the Year. Now, as Minister for Youth, I'm honoured to support and sponsor the Young Australian of the Year program, shining a light on the wonderful achievements of young people right across the country. Each of you are leading examples to your peers, your communities, and the entire country, creating a better and brighter future. You are each being recognised for your incredible achievements, demonstrating the extraordinary things young Australians can accomplish. Now, I can't wait to see the incredible contributions you will make next, and I wish you nothing but success.
The Young Australians of the Year have a really impressive energy and a drive to make Australia a better place.
I simply couldn't live with myself, knowing that there were Australians suffering from medical conditions that could be treated.
It is still crazy to me that I've done what I have in sport, and I want young kids to know that I was once in the same position that they are now, hoping and dreaming of one day of doing something big. I want to have an impact on people's lives by encouraging them to push hard and go after their dreams and what they're passionate about.
It's just so reassuring to know these young people are the future of our nation. We also have our 2024 Young Australian of the Year, Peter Sisanto, here with us. Peter, please join us on stage. Peter, you've had a very busy year. How has receiving the award in 2024 helped you achieve your goals?
Well, my goal is simple. I want to make a difference in our community, especially in the medical field. I can't say, however, that I've achieved all my goals, especially since I'm still studying. But what I can say is that receiving this award has given me an incredible platform to influence positive change in our community, which I'm so grateful for. This year, I've had the opportunity to develop and present advocacy speeches at both community and professional events, sharing my message that the way to improve Australia is to foster empathy, social cohesion, and community participation. In fact, this year, I'm delighted that I successfully advocated for every NT resident aged 18 years and under to have access to free oral health services. I've also been invited to address young Territorians, which I've used to encourage development of life skills through taking action and being involved in our community. It really fills me with so much joy every time that someone approaches me to say that I've inspired them to make a positive change in their life. And I think that since last November, my sister Eva and I have been able to sell more of Grandma's delicious Indonesian snacks on the nightclub foreshore in Cullen Bay, allowing us to fundraise more money for charity and make a bigger impact. Finally, winning the award has provided me the incredible opportunity to network with and learn from so many successful people. Having these personal connections has allowed me to understand their challenges and struggles, helping to inspire me in facing my own difficulties. So, overall, this year has been a life-changing year. I know that the next recipient will also make the most of their opportunity.
Thank you, Peter. What a speech. Peter turned 18 last week. Without further ado, let's hear the achievements so far of our nominees for the 2025 Northern Territory Young Australian of the Year Award.
Nilesh Delushan inspires and unites young people from diverse backgrounds to serve their community. The two not-for-profit organisations he co-founded have each delivered extraordinary benefits, providing meals, closing the financial literacy gap, and providing drug and alcohol education. Winner of the 2023 Northern Territory Volunteer of the Year, Nilesh demonstrates the extraordinary potential of young people to drive positive change. Jules Gabor is a fearless voice for Darwin's youth. Drawing on her lived experience, Jules demonstrates that young people can make significant contributions to their community despite the challenges faced. Through her passion for advocacy, storytelling, and community engagement, she amplifies the voices of her peers, particularly around homelessness, identity, and mental health, fostering belonging and creating safe spaces to be heard. Carlito Rodriguez, or Dante, is a professional athlete from Darwin and a proud Aboriginal Tiwi Portuguese man. He's used his influence from professional sports to promote mental health and suicide prevention, as well as to start multiple programs internationally and locally. These programs help misguided and underprivileged youth, most notably the 1% program, which develops important values like discipline and self-worth. In role modelling resilience and showing what's possible, Melissa Waramaba offers guidance and inspires hope for Indigenous youth. In 2023, Melissa became the first person in her community to graduate university in 36 years. She's actively working to address the root causes of low education participation and strives for Nurkor School to achieve 95% attendance.
Nook is a tricky word to get right. Your Honour, would you please present each nominee with their certificate, starting with Nilesh Delushan. Jules Gabor. Carlito Rodriguez, Dante. Melissa Wurmarba. Now the moment of truth. Your Honour, can you please tell us who is the 2025 Northern Territory Young Australian of the Year?
The 2025 Young Australian of the Year for Northern Territory is Nilesh Delushan.
Congratulations, 2025 Northern Territory Young Australian of the Year, Nilesh Delushan. Nilesh, tell us, where did your passion for this work come from?
Well, thank you, Rick. First of all, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I gather, the Larrakia people, and honestly pay my respect for the past, present, and importantly, the young leaders that we work with. It was and always will be an Aboriginal land. As a multicultural youth, I proudly acknowledge it. Well, Rick, most of you know I came to the Territory 8 years ago as an international student. When I came to the Territory, I didn't have a single person. I had only two things, Ricky. I had a bag full of dreams and a luggage full of hopes. I didn't know a single person when I landed, but at that time, I didn't know that I'm coming to the best place in Australia. So Territory gave me the friends that I call my family. Territory gave me the people that I call my community. The Territory gave me the place today I call home. Who I am today is basically the Territorians who I've met have shaped, and who I'm becoming are by the Territorians who I will be working, will be shaping me to the future as well. Well, I have shared this in the past, but I will share this again. People come to the Territory for different reasons. Some people come to work, some people come to study like me, some people come to travel to experience the outback, and some people come to even play sports. But they all stay back for one reason. That's because we have the most beautiful connected communities in Northern Territory compared to all of Australia. And my work is basically with international student, multicultural youth, and young professionals. Ricky, when you go to a garden, you see the flowers of same kind, same shapes, and same colors, you're not interested. You go to a restaurant, you eat the same food every day, you're not interested. You go to shopping and you see the same clothes and the same colors, same shape, you're not interested. You want diversity in all of those. You need diversity in clothing, you need diversity in food, and you need diversity in flowers, but we also importantly need diversity in people. And that's what international education brings to the Northern Territory. While nationally there are important changes to our skill migration, international education, it is important to acknowledge the wondrous things that the international education brings to the Northern Territory. And my story is one of thousands and thousands of international students who have studied and who's contributing to the Territory and to Australia as well.
Nilesh, just finally, you've been here all of 8 years. You're now the 2025 Young Australian of the Year for the Northern Territory. What advice do you have for young people today when it comes to making change in their communities?
Love that question, Rick. Well, how to run 1,000 miles? One step at a time. You will finish 1,000 miles. How to hit an elephant? One bite at a time. But, well, I don't eat elephants. Well, every speaking engagement I get to share a story, and this time I'm going to share a story about Chinese bamboo tree. So I don't know what the Chinese bamboo tree has to do with China, but Chinese bamboo tree is one of the strongest and the tallest trees in the world. It is tall as 90 feet and strong as steel. But it just grows in a little unconventional way. You plant the Chinese bamboo tree and you water it, you add fertilizer, you give sunlight, it doesn't break the ground. For the second year, you do the same. You add water, you fertilize it, you give sunlight, it doesn't break the ground. So annoying, isn't it? You do the same thing for the third year, you do the same thing for the fourth year, nothing happens. But, and the fifth year comes, boom, it finally breaks the ground. Soon as it breaks the ground, the Chinese bamboo tree grows 90 feet in just 6 weeks. So all these years, the Chinese bamboo tree wasn't weak. It was just strengthening its foundation underneath the surface. It's getting ready for the future growth that it needs. So just like some young people, Chinese bamboo tree teaches us a few important life lessons. Number one is patience and perseverance. Great things take time. So you have to wait till the time comes. And the second thing is you have to trust the process. You have to keep doing the right thing, even you don't see the result. And one day, as in the fifth year, whatever you deserve will come to you. And the last lesson is that you never give up. Just because a mushroom grows faster than a Chinese bamboo tree, the mushroom doesn't get stronger. The mushroom becomes strongest tree in the world. So you just have to trust in the process, be patient, and never give up. And one day, we all will be strong and tall like Chinese bamboo tree. So if you can dream it, you definitely can achieve it.
2025 Northern Territory Young Australian of the Year, Nilesh Dilshan, thank you so much and congratulations once again. And thank you, Your Honour. The Department of Health and Aged Care is the category partner for our next award, the Senior Australian of the Year. The award celebrates those Australians aged 65 years and over who continue to achieve and make a difference. Let's hear more about our Senior Australian of the Year category.
The Senior Australian of the Year award is an award that really carries a lot of respect because it's a reflection of many decades of work by the recipient.
Here in Australia, we are fortunate to be the home of the oldest continuing surviving cultures in the world. This is something we should be proud of and we should celebrate.
I pray that all people in our wonderful country, Australia, regardless of language, culture, skin colour or religious belief, may stand tall as proud Australians.
The Senior Australian of the Year Award recognises and celebrates the incredible achievements of older Australians around the country. As the Minister for Aged Care, I want to congratulate all of you on being nominated. Ageing well means staying healthy and connecting with community. Improving the lives of others shows your continued passion and commitment to living well. I wish you all the best in the finals, but importantly, I want to acknowledge that every one of you should be proud of your continued achievements. You are an inspiration to all of us, and your legacies will benefit the nation for generations to come.
The Senior Australians of the Year are inspirational not only to other senior Australians but to all Australians and particularly to the younger generations coming through.
Bystander first aid is proven to prevent death in those vital minutes before an ambulance arrives.
We need equal rights, including fundings, services and resources, so we can work side by side and support each other. And together we can share new ideas to heal our nation. Let all stand up and work together. Thank you.
For Northern Territory and National Senior Australian of the Year, Yalmay Yunupingu here. Please join us on stage. Yalmay, how has your year been as the recipient of this amazing award?
It's been very busy for me. It was very hard saying no to people because of the commitment that I have for the community and for people that want to talk to me and to get stories from me, what I need to share to Northern Territory, but also to the state. I've been very honoured to accept the award because I didn't think that I was going to get it, but it was very, very surprising for me. The other thing, every time I go to conferences, workshops, talks, and people always say to me, when I've been introduced to people, or to a crowd, people often would say to me, "You look very young. You don't look like senior." And do I? That's sometimes people always say about me. But the thing that I have interest that I carry in me is I always think about school, education. I always think about children, because the school I come from is a bilingual school, and children that I teach in the school is Yulngamata and Balanda, which I deliver. I'm also a teacher linguist. I deliver and support Yulngamata in the classroom with all the Indigenous teachers. So even though I'm not working at the school now, but I still have commitment with the school, because I know there's a lot of things that I need to offer. It is really literacy and numeracy that I want to develop with the kids, with the Yolngu kids, because Yolngu is their first language and English is their second language. I am working with Gillian Wigglesworth on app, Yolngu app that we developed, which we were developing that for 5 years. And every time I work with Gillian to test children, Yolngu children, if the app, Yolngu app is, if they're learning from the Yolngu app. So this is what I'm doing after I left school, just to see how literacy and numeracy are doing at the school, and I'm still attached with the school. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd now like to invite the Deputy Chief Minister, Gerard Maley, to please join me on the stage. Okay, with a lifetime of success and service, let's hear the stories of our nominees for the 2025 Northern Territory Senior Australian of the Year.
Georgina Bracken has provided critical support for victims of domestic violence, as well as tackling housing and social issues. A passionate advocate for the vulnerable members in our community, she's provided support for victims of domestic violence for a decade and has served on many community boards. She's a regular volunteer and an inspirational example of how leadership, resilience and compassion can propel positive change. At 84 years of age, Michael Foley OAM remains a tireless advocate for the contributions of seniors. For more than 40 years, Michael has dedicated his life to senior wellbeing and to ensuring they're recognised in our communities. In 2014, he founded Seniors of Excellence NT to share expertise and established the Seniors of Excellence NT Awards to acknowledge remarkable service. Frank Holmes has made a profound contribution to preserving Aluwar cultural knowledge. For decades, he's shared his deep knowledge of law, spirituality, language, families and resources with researchers. Frank speaks several Indigenous languages and English and has made significant contributions to the English Aluwar Dictionary. He's also been key to many successful land claims in the Northern Territory. For more than 30 years, Jennifer Messel has actively promoted quality and culturally sensitive aged care to vulnerable Indigenous people at the Juninga Centre in Darwin. Jennifer helps her staff develop their skills and fulfil their potential, particularly Indigenous employees, successfully retaining some team members for more than 20 years. Jennifer has been frequently awarded for her nursing and leadership excellence.
Our Deputy Chief Minister will finalists with their certificates. Georgina Bracken. Michael Foley, OAM, represented by his daughter, Jacqueline Dowling. Frank Holmes. Jennifer Messel is represented by Lynn Lawrence. A round of applause, please, for these incredibly important members of our community. Deputy Chief Minister Gerard Maley, can you tell us who is the 2025 Northern Territory Senior Australian of the Year?
The winner is Michael Foley.
Now, unfortunately, Michael won't be joining us this evening, but he has recorded a video message in the event that he won. Here it is.
It is with much pride and sincerity that I say thank you to the Northern Territory for the wonderful opportunities I have been given in helping those less able to help themselves. It is a great honour to receive this award, and I thank the Australia Day Council. Thank you.
That's 2025 Northern Territory Senior Australian of the Year, Michael Foley, OAM. Okay, our final category this evening is, of course, the 2025 Northern Territory Australian of the Year Award. The Australian of the Year category celebrates the achievements and contributions of eminent Australians who are role models for us all. As you know, we've had some dynamic past recipients, and what's great is that they come from such different sectors and backgrounds. Let's remind ourselves of some of them.
I think we can all really aspire to be like the Australians of the Year. The Australians of the Year really help to shape our nation as we move into the future, which is why we should be so grateful for their ongoing work.
We have to have greater representation of people with a disability absolutely everywhere. In our boardrooms, in our parliaments, in our mainstream schools, on our dating apps, on our sporting fields, in our universities, absolutely everywhere.
If I can make a difference to someone else's life, if they can draw some strength by hearing what I say and knowing that I'm speaking on their behalf, it gives me a lot of hope.
I'm going to continue to be myself, keep standing up for what I believe in, and hopefully by doing this, other people will follow.
When you look back at the amazing list of Australians of the Year over the last 60 plus years, it's an extraordinary group of people. Musicians, athletes, scientists, Aboriginal leaders, advocates, environmentalists, rescuers. It's an amazing list of incredible Australians.
What if instead of spending their precious time and energy at war with their bodies, our young people were free to become the leaders, big thinkers and game changers the world needs more of right now? It's not our bodies that need to change, it's our perspective.
Our mission is 0 deaths from melanoma. To reach it, in addition to prevention, we need a targeted screening program and greater investment in research. This must be a national health priority.
Beyond melanoma and into the broader cancer field, more courage is needed to push treatment boundaries backed by science for the benefit of all cancer patients.
Okay, for the last time this evening, encompassing inspiration, contribution and excellence, let's see our incredible nominees for this year's Northern Territory Australian of the Year Award.
Donna Archie is a proud Bundjalung woman and national advocate for health and social justice for Aboriginal communities. In 2023, Donna advocated for restrictions on alcohol availability in Alice Springs, resulting in a 40% reduction in alcohol-related domestic violence incidents. Donna received an honorary doctorate from Charles Darwin University for her significant contribution to the health of First Nations peoples. Frank Goyer is a nationally recognised printmaker, painter, sculptor and artist. In 1996, he founded Red Hand Prints, which offers remote community workshops that teach Aboriginal artists printmaking, foster economic development and provide platforms to express their culture and stories. That same year, Frank established an Indigenous prison art program aimed at using art as therapy and building skills for life outside prison. Zainab Mohammed is using sport as a force for change and connection among refugees, asylum seekers and new immigrants. Through her work with Football Without Borders, she's significantly increased female participation in football in the Territory, specifically within culturally and linguistically diverse communities. Zainab is also the first ever chair for the Territory's United Nations Association of Australia Young Professionals Network. Grant Nulmiya Nunhiri Bala is a musician in the Noonbulwa community. Bridging cultural differences, Grant has showcased his music across the world. He collaborated with the Budapest Art Orchestra and was the driving force behind the Noonburundi Festival. Grant has shown how Noonbulwa people can earn an income from expressing their internationally esteemed culture in a place where employment is hard to find.
Deputy Chief Minister, will you do us the final honour of presenting these remarkable finalists with their certificate, please? Donna Archie. Frank Goyer. Zainab Mohammed. Grant Nonmilia Nandaribala. Let's give our finalists a massive round of applause. Deputy Chief Minister, it's our final award. Whose name is in that envelope?
Okay, this is a exciting announcement, but Grant Namrilra.
Grant 2025 Northern Territory Australian of the Year. What's running through your head right now?
Hard to say. Yeah. But anyway, I went around the world to my music, and I love doing music with a different culture around the world. This is my dream for my music. And also I was looking at famous musicians when they went around the world, and one of that's my hero is here in the audience. I met, yeah, that's my hero, you know. Always see him in TV, and I said to myself, one day I'll be like him.
Grant, an award like this recognition, what does it mean for Numbulwar, for your people?
It's make me really proud for Numbulwar community. I am from the small community. It's too hard for me to travel from my little community to the big city. It's too hard for me. But because this is my dream, I'll have to go, and it's really hard for a musician. It's not a really easy, too hard to traveling around.
When you win the Northern Territory Australian of the Year, it gives you an opportunity to talk about things you want to raise with the Northern Territory Society. What would you like to talk about? What would you like to use this award this next 12 months?
Well, I'd like to talk about this award. Make me really happy. This is my shocking, you know. When I went to India, they ring me from here to talk to me at India, but I said, can you call me later because I'm doing my thing, busy. And I said, yeah, well, we talk to you when you come back home. I just got back from India. I never go back home yet, miss my home. Yeah, it's really too hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Northern Territory Australian of the Year, Grant Nomilya Nondiribala.
Thank you.
What's next for our 4 recipients? Well, they now become nominees for the National Award along with all the other state and territory recipients with the announcement made in Canberra on the 25th of January. I'd like to welcome to the stage the Chair of the National Australia Day Council, Mr. John Foreman AM, who is lucky enough to meet all of our amazing nominees across the country and host the recipients in Canberra in January next year. John.
Thank you, everybody. What an amazing night this has been. I want to thank Richard, all the team here in the Northern Territory Australia Day Council for putting on such an absolutely brilliant event. And this is the 65th year of the Australian of the Year Awards. And as we've sort of discussed tonight, over the 65 years, there's been such an incredible range of Australians who have become the Australian of the Year, and of course senior, young and local hero as well. And of course, while there's a great diversity of people who've received those awards over the years, one thing they have in common is a word that's been spoken about a lot tonight, and that's inspiration. How people inspire other Australians. And I just wanted to sort of reflect on some of the things we've learnt tonight about our recipients who, as you say, will be going to Canberra to potentially become the national recipients in those awards. Mignon standing up for the wildlife that can't stand up for themselves and advocating for them. And then Nilesh, of course, such a powerful advocate for young people and also for diversity in the community. It does occur to me, Nilesh, that if you did try to eat an elephant one bite at a time, Mignon would be there to defend the elephant, which is good. And to Michael, who hopefully is watching us online, for his shining a spotlight on the excellence of senior Australians. And of course, to Grant, proving that music really is the international language. I also wanted to mention that the Youth Mill group that started tonight, we started with music, which was absolutely brilliant. Then we heard about the legendary Yothu Yindi band and the incredible work that they've done. And then to finish with Grant receiving the award tonight and shining that spotlight on how the world's oldest living culture can interact with musical performers from all around the world. It's a fantastic way for Australia to be represented internationally. This is the first of our state and territory awards, so I'm absolutely thrilled that we've begun here at the top, and I want to thank all of you, congratulate you on an amazing evening, and I look forward to seeing all of the recipients in Canberra in January. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. It's all down south from here. To all 16 nominees here tonight, please remember that someone in your community thought you were amazing. Your being here shows that it does not go unnoticed. To everyone watching and listening, get involved and nominate someone who inspires you at australianoftheyear.org.au and follow the nominate button. And finally, we would like to acknowledge the partners who make this all possible. We've heard from our category partners, the Department of Health and Aged Care, the Department of Home Affairs, and the Australian Government Office for Youth. We thank our broadcast partner, the ABC. Thank you to our media partner, Australian Community Media, for reaching rural, regional and remote audiences around the country. Thanks to our accommodation partner, Crown Plaza Canberra, and to our cultural partner, the Australian National University, who produce the amazing trophies. Thanks to our exhibition partner, the National Museum of Australia, and our legal partner, Minter Ellison. Thank you lastly to our local partners, Mindle Beach Casino Resort and the Youth Mill Performing Arts Company. Weren't they amazing? Please join me in thanking our partners for their vital support. Congratulations again to everyone involved. That brings us to the end of the formal proceedings. Don't forget to tune in to the national announcement that's live on the ABC the evening before Australia Day. Just like tonight, it's truly a beautiful and inspirational event. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and have a very good evening.